In the shadowy corners of the internet, where code is law and identity is a choice, a ghost was born. They called themselves Satoshi Nakamoto. In 2008, this phantom architect gifted the world a 9-page white paper, a digital blueprint for a currency free from governments and banks. It was called Bitcoin. A revolution was ignited, promising to decentralize power and place it back into the hands of the people. But what if this promise of liberation was, in fact, the most sophisticated Trojan horse ever conceived? What if the ghost in the machine wasn't a lone cypherpunk, but a carefully constructed fiction, a mask worn by the very institutions it claimed to oppose? We were peeling back the layers of encryption to investigate a chilling theory, that Bitcoin was unborn from a desire for freedom, but forged in the digital fires of the American intelligence community. This is the deep state of crypto. The trail begins not in a hacker's basement, but deep within the secure servers of the National Security Agency. For years, whispers and fragmented clues have suggested a link between the NSA and the creation of Bitcoin. The most compelling piece of evidence lies at the very heart of the cryptocurrency, its core cryptographic algorithm, SHA-256. This secure hash algorithm wasn't invented by Satoshi. It was designed, developed, and published by the NSA itself in 2001. Think about that. The very lock that secures every single Bitcoin transaction, the unbreakable code that guarantees its integrity, was patented by the world's most powerful electronic surveillance organization. To skeptics, it's a mere coincidence. The NSA created a strong standard, and a developer simply used the best tool available. Right. But to investigators, it's the digital equivalent of a smoking gun. Why would an intelligence agency hand the world a tool for anonymous transactions, a currency seemingly perfect for criminals and dissidents? The theory posits a long-game strategy. In the post-9/11 world, tracking the global flow of money became a paramount objective for counterterrorism efforts. Traditional banking, with its SWIFT system and correspondent banks, was already heavily monitored. But the dark corners of the financial world and registered cash transfers, Hawala networks, remained a blind spot. Intelligence agencies needed a new way to map these hidden financial networks. They needed a honeypot, a system so attractive to those who wished to operate in the shadows that they would flock to it willingly. A system that, on the surface, appeared anonymous, but which contained a hidden backdoor, a God's eye view for its creators. The evidence extends beyond the code itself. Consider the timing. Bitcoin emerged in late 2008, at the apex of a global financial crisis that shattered public trust in traditional banking institutions. It was the perfect moment to introduce a decentralized alternative. Was this serendipity or masterful social engineering? Furthermore, researchers have pointed to the military-grade operational security maintained by Satoshi Nakamoto. For over a year, this entity interacted with the world's best cryptographers, answered complex technical questions in flawless English, and managed a burgeoning global project across multiple time zones, all without a single slip-up, a single leak of personal information, a single identifying metadata fragment. This level of discipline is virtually unheard of for a lone individual. But it is standard operating procedure for a well-resourced, compartmentalized intelligence operation. Leaked documents from whistleblowers, while not naming Bitcoin directly, have detailed NSA and CIA programs aimed at infiltrating and influencing online communities, developing tools to de-anonymize network traffic, and monitoring emerging financial technologies. The question isn't whether they could have created Bitcoin, it's whether we can afford to believe they didn't. To understand the dual nature of this technology, we spoke with Dr. Anna Reed, a cybersecurity expert who has spent a decade analyzing the architecture of decentralized systems. She explains how Bitcoin can be both a symbol of freedom and a potential instrument of unparalleled surveillance. Bitcoin's paradox is its public ledger, the blockchain. On one hand, it's revolutionary. Every transaction is recorded and verified by a global network of computers. There's no central authority that can censor a payment or freeze an account. For activists in authoritarian regimes, or individuals in countries with unstable economies, this is a lifeline. It offers a degree of financial sovereignty that was previously unimaginable. It allows people to escape hyperinflation, to receive funds across borders when governments try to shut them down. In that sense, yes, it's a powerful tool of freedom, Dr. Reed walks over to a large screen displaying a complex web of interconnected nodes, representing the Bitcoin blockchain. But here's the other side of the coin. The word anonymous is a dangerous misnomer when it comes to Bitcoin. The correct term is pseudonymous. Your name isn't attached to your Bitcoin wallet, but the wallet address itself is. And every single transaction that address has ever made, every coin it's received, every coin it's sent is permanently etched into this public ledger for anyone to see. Forever, all it takes to unravel your entire financial history is to link your real-world identity to just one of those transactions. And how is that link made? It's surprisingly simple. The moment you buy Bitcoin from an exchange that requires your ID, the moment you cash it out to your personal bank account, or even the moment you use it to buy a pizza and have it delivered to your house, you've created a link, a data point. And for an organization like the NSA, which vacuums up massive amounts of internet and financial data, connecting those dots is trivial. They don't need to break the SHA 256 encryption. Why break down the door when you have the key? By analyzing the blockchain, they can map out entire networks. They can see how money flows from an exchange to a private wallet through a series of mixing services and eventually to its final destination. It becomes the most comprehensive financial surveillance tool ever created, and the beauty of it is the users maintain the network themselves. It's a self-sustaining dragnet. This brings us back to the central mystery, the ghost at the heart of the machine. Did Satoshi Nakamoto ever really exist? Over the years, the hunt for Satoshi has become a modern-day legend. Journalists and amateur sleuths have chased down leads, pointing fingers at various cryptographers and programmers. Each one has either denied it or been debunked. The persona itself seems almost too perfect a reclusive genius with a Japanese name, writing in perfect, colloquial English, using a mix of British and American spelling, as if deliberately trying to muddy the waters of their origin. It feels less like a real person and more like a character meticulously crafted by a committee. A legend, an intelligence parlance, fabricated background for a covert operative or operation. If Satoshi was a team of NSA or CIA engineers, their disappearance in 2011 makes perfect sense. The project was launched. The code was open source. The network was growing organically. The mission was accomplished. They could step away, leaving their creation to take on a life of its own, all while potentially retaining the keys to the kingdom and intimate, creator-level understanding of the system's architecture and any hidden vulnerabilities. The myth of the benevolent, freedom-loving founder was now self-perpetuating, the ultimate cover for an intelligence operation hiding in plain sight. They created a currency for the people, by the people lore, so the people would believe. Today, Bitcoin is a multi-trillion-dollar asset class, integrated into the global financial system. Nations are adopting it, and corporations are adding it to their balance sheets. The revolution Satoshi started is undeniable. But as this new financial world takes shape, the fundamental question remains unanswered, lingering in the code itself. Are we witnessing the dawn of a truly decentralized era, a final escape from the long reach of the state? Or are we, in the entire global financial system, simply willing participants in the most audacious intelligence-gathering operation in human history? A deep state of crypto, designed by a ghost and controlled from the shadows. The truth may be written on the blockchain, but its real meaning is still waiting to be decrypted.